Dustin Diamond is not dead.
That was Inception.
Yes, he
Who
is.
said he was
He's not
dead?
dead.
Who said he was?
I saw an article that said he was stabbed to death in a prison
Well,
riot.
I saw an article that said, "Oh, that was just a hoax, guys.
Are you-
Chill out."
I
That's
guess-
the only one I've ever fallen for.
Who are we talking
Fell
about?
for it. I just needed to let you know. that you fell for
I'm
it.
proud that you did, because honestly, once I thought it was verified in my brain, it was fact. But you telling me
I know
that it's
how
a
that works.
You
It
telling,
works. It's a very sinister thing that goes on in people's heads nowadays.
and you telling me that is you're part of my circle of people that I trust. So you telling me that it's
Now
Dustin
watch.
Diamond
Now I'm
is
going to
alive.
get proven wrong.
Are you talking about Dustin Diamond Dallas Page?
No,
No, that's the yoga guy.
From Saved by the Bell.
he is the yoga guy now.
Oh, Screech.
Yeah.
Screech.
Screech.
Oh, he's in prison?
No, he's dead. He died in prison.
No, he didn't.
No, you lied to me. I mean, I don't want to go around telling everyone I know Screech is dead.
Me neither. That's why I had to call him on it. There's hope, everyone.
Hey, everybody. I am Dane Holland, and I am 25% of the people at this table without a Hello Kitty notebook.
I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer, and I rock my Let's Be Friends Forever Hello Kitty notebook.
I'm Marcus Whitaker. I'm Electric Man.
I'm Austin.
And I'm a joke. I'm just a joke. I'm one big fat joke. Okay. Thank you.
His face is red.
I was like, I needed to wait a second.
I thought it was on purpose.
It wasn't. It
Because
really
it works
wasn't.
perfectly. Because I am just a joke.
Yeah, you are. Oh, that's great.
That's why I thought that was so funny.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Austin Tiny Zent, and I design rocket ships in my free time.
Such a good. Why is it a hairy rocket ship?
Oh, wrong page.
Okay. That sounded like it's a fire crotch. Your laugh just sounded like a transformer.
More than meets the eye.
Everybody, welcome to. That's good.
First one was uncircumcised.
There, Marcus.
My God, he
He's
killed
not
him.
gonna make it. You okay, bud? I don't know.
Keep going. Keep going.
Welcome to Nerd It Through the Grapevine. It's a podcast where four best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. We made it to 20 episodes. To me, that's a milestone. I feel good.
That's 20 more than we had when we started.
Yeah, our podcast can almost drink and smoke now.
Yeah.
Man,
21.
this thing's going to get rowdy next week. Oh my gosh. Real rowdy. I'm gonna go first because I'm very excited about this topic. And I was actually looking at a different thing, and the Wikipedia rabbit hole sent me this place. And I couldn't tell you what my original idea. No, I'll save that for another time. Ooh. Oh, foreshadowing. Not much of it, though. Anyway.
That's all this episode's going to be is foreshadowing
It's all
for future
foreshadowing.
episodes.
That's it. It's just tiny hints of what you might get in the future. Or might not.
This is our foreshadowing episode.
We set him up for that. I shouldn't have.
Sorry. It was my idea.
Gummit. How many of you are familiar with... I can't watch that. I can't watch you lick that microphone.
I didn't know it was there, and so I was like, is it really
at
there?
the same time? Oh, it's there. I'm just glad it's your headphones.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fantastic.
I'm going to be so wheezy by the time this is over.
Good. How many of you know about ILM?
Industrial Lights and Magic?
Dadgummit, Marcus. I was hoping to learn you all
Hey,
something.
that was a softball.
It was a softball. I'm sorry. Are you familiar, Tiny?
Not a clue.
No.
Austin, you're not familiar? Nerds. They call themselves nerds. They don't know who Industrial Light and Magic is. Oh. Well, become nerdier with me, shall we? Industrial Light and Magic was actually created by George Lucas himself.
Oh.
Yeah. You know the one. The Star Wars. The Father Star Wars. That's the one. George Lucas. He when creating A New Hope, wanted fantastic new types of special effects. And he didn't know how he was going to do that with another company. So what he did was, I'm going to start my own. So he recruited John Dykstra from the recently shut down in-house special effects department at 20th Century Fox. And Dykstra gathered some college students, some artists and engineers who went on to special effects, like they did the special effects for Star Wars. What are you guys doing to your notebooks right now?
I'm trying to find something that has to do with what you're talking about.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, Dane.
No, you're fine. I'm going to wait for Austin to stop flipping to what he's got to get to.
I don't
He doesn't use the red ribbon, apparently.
No, I had a part of my book broke out, and I don't really know what order stuff is in anymore. So
Maybe you should see a doctor if it had a breakout.
I hate you. You know, I might have flipped through this the whole time to not even find anything because it's nothing. Nothing is here except I know what I wrote. It's on this part, but never mind. Go on.
ILM has done effects for almost 300 films in 44 years since A New Hope. And they actually at one point had to operate under a pseudonym name for their company because, like, crazed Star Wars fans from A New Hope, like, if they found out where they were creating all this stuff for it, we're probably going to, I don't know, cause some ruckus while they're trying to work. So it was called the Kerner Company. And it was in California. And it was just this, like, random building, like without anything to have to do with Lucasfilm or Star Wars or even ILM, because as soon as anyone found out that name, they were going to be right there. I know if they were down the street from us, we'd be hanging out on the other side of the fence, check and see what's going on. And they've done a bunch of indie movies. I mean, being able to do 300 films in 45 years is like nearly impossible. So they've done a lot of indie films you guys have probably never heard of since Star Wars. I'll go down a little list of them. There's actually a really long one that's too long for me to go through everything, so here's some highlights. Indiana Jones, the Harry Potter series, Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, Star Trek, Ghostbusters, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Pirates of the Caribbean, Terminator, Transformers, Men in Black, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Wild Wild West, Mission Impossible, E.T., Flubber, Avatar, and The Mandalorian.
That's a long list.
And that's a short list compared to what they have, like, on their Wikipedia page of all the movies that they have done the special effects for. Is every year you go through it, if there is a movie that you enjoy that has any kind of computer graphics involved with it whatsoever, they probably did it. And those are all the movies that
that's not all they do, though, is computer graphics, is it? Or do they do a lot more than that? Or
I'm sure they do. This is the only the computer generated stuff is all the stuff that I was looking at.
Right.
So, do you know more of
well,
what they've done?
I don't know. I guess I was just under the impression that, like you said, it was some random building. They literally, it was like a warehouse before that, and they just took it over. Mm-hmm. Started making effects, started making sets, started making on these miniature. I mean, he just got all these artistic people together. Mm-hmm. And then just had them be creative until he approved, like, the things that he liked. Like, I think Ralph McQuarrie is the concept artist. I think I could be butchering that. I'm pretty sure it's Ralph McQuarrie or something like that.
For Star Wars, for the original Star Wars. Okay, yeah.
And so, like, I guess Lucas was just really struck with that vision of that concept art, that original concept art for Star Wars, that he went out and put all these people together and was like, "This is what we got to make happen."
Yeah, and they.
And that's basically Industrial Lights and Magic. It's a movie company that is basically in charge of all the special effects.
Oh, yeah. Everywhere.
Yeah.
All over the place. Like Steven Spielberg and George Lucas together. Like,
he invented that to make Star Wars, basically.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And then it became the biggest, like, most successful special effects company to ever exist. And it's probably going to stay that way.
Like, some of the movies on there that you mentioned are so just stand out for how memorable they are, for how everything looked. I mean, God, Wild Wild West.
Oh, yeah. They're also going to be doing the biggest thing that I saw television-wise coming up will be The Witcher Season 2. So they're actually going to be doing that. And I wonder if they're going to be using the same technology they've been using with Mandalorian. which I'll get into here in a minute. Some firsts of theirs. You mentioned some of these, like a lot of those movies have these standout parts about them because it's the first time you've ever seen anything like that before. And they have a lot of firsts that they were a part of. And this list, again, is much longer than this, but these are just some highlights that I took out of it, just from movies that we would probably be like aware of. They were the first to ever make a texture of a human skin digitally. That was in Death Becomes Her. They were the first for digitally complete, detailed, like living creature in Jurassic Park. So like the dinosaur just being completely computer generated. They were the first to at manipulation, placing actors in historical footage in Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the first to have fully computer generated lead role, which was Casper.
Oh,
Like
wow.
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Yep.
Yeah, he was the first completely computer generated lead role because they'd had other figures in movies. But he has the most screen time, like of the main character. And first computer generated realistic fur in Jumanji, which I remember specifically from that movie how the lion
Yep.
and I believe the monkeys
So
too.
with the original one?
Like Jumanji, yeah. With Robin Williams. Yes. Wait, they did another one? Oh, they did do another one with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
And
There's
number
our
2.
Traditional.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, we
He's
mention
everywhere.
him like every episode.
Yeah, it's episode 20. Why wouldn't he be here? Let's see. What's the last one that I'll mention is the one that's most recently used, and that is real-time rendering with LED displays as a virtual set. They call it stagecraft, but with The Mandalorian, they've called it the volume. And it's a room, basically a giant room where the walls and the ceiling are all made of LED screens.
And they just film that.
Yeah, that's
That's
their
amazing.
background. Like that's the scene.
Yeah, I mean, think about it though. Like on the old shows, like you could always tell, like they were on they were in a sound stage, and they had like this, painting behind them to give that perspective that they're in this other world or whatever. And I mean, it's really just kind of a callback to that.
Oh yeah. Well, this is
Except
basically
it's
like
just with modern technology, and it's apparently pretty powerful.
it's like a digital living painting. That's the background.
Yeah.
But there's even his ship, the Razor Crest. Like the top half of it isn't there. Like they've got the lower half of it as a prop for them to be able to get in and out of, and for the camera to move with them inside of it. But the upper half of the whole ship, like any scene you see, the upper half of it pretty much is computer generated on the ceiling of this room. And it's whenever they show, like, not from the camera view, but from a side camera view, like a B-roll camera, it looks weird because the perspective is all off and it's skewed. But that's because what's being shown on those LED screens follows what the filming camera is looking at. So whatever in frame, that's showing at the correct perspective, and everything around it is kind of skewed. And as soon as they move the camera, it changes the perspective of what's being shown on those LED screens to match up perfectly
with whatever
with
shot
they're doing. And so
that's pretty high tech.
It's mind-blowing, and it's also insane that this is the first time that's ever been done. So that means it's going to be used for so many things beyond this. And that means the time of production for things, like most of the work is going to be done computer generated beforehand, and they can change the scene as they're doing the work. So you can film so much more during a day where all you have to do to change out the set is what's on the ground and a few pieces of actual set like design that isn't on the screen, so that way it blends well with the screen. So you still got a sense of perspective of something that they touch walking by, like a pillar or something like that. But it's phenomenal what they can do with that.
And that was the first movie that they used it in.
First anything
First
was
show
Mandalorian.
was-
Yeah. It's a one of a kind right now, but it won't be for long. Like I'm sure The Witcher's going to do it. Like, why wouldn't they? That's going to be a perfect example of using it.
That would be insane.
But it uses, and it's the first time that a video games have helped create a TV universe. Like not the concept of one, but the actual usage of a video game to create a TV show that is live action. Because it uses Epic's Unreal Engine to create all the backgrounds and scenes. So it's like computer.
I mean, we're really close to photorealism in computer generated graphic. I mean, we're very, very close to that. we'll see that in
absolutely.
our lifetime. Like photorealistic graphics.
It's come a whole lot farther than you thought it would whenever you watch those cutscenes on Final Fantasy VIII.
Or GoldenEye. Gosh,
Oh,
I can't
geez.
believe that's the game that I think has the worst graphics that I played the most throughout
Oh,
my
yeah.
life.
Oh, absolutely. So basically, what I learned from your topic is
Yes.
movies are good because of George Lucas.
Because
Yeah, pretty much.
because of
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Movie God.
Star Wars made
absolutely.
movies good because it revolutionized like computer graphics, like for movies, digital graphics. A couple random things that I thought was really cool. Photoshop was created by ILM like team members as a summer project, and later sold it to Adobe. So ILM created a Photoshop, like which is I use it every day.
It was
for
a
design.
summer project.
And a lot of
Yes.
professionals use it every day.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
the professional standard
Yeah.
of photo editing and for a lot of digital design. And then Masi Oka, I'm probably butchering that name, but he played Hiro Nakamura in Heroes. And he was a programmer for ILM and worked on Revenge of the Sith.
Wow.
Yeah. Had no idea of that.
The video game?
No, the movie.
Go on.
Okay, I will. Not for long though. My time's almost up.
No,
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I don't
But
want to go.
it's
Sad panda.
ILM is everything, and everything is ILM, and it blows my mind because the first time I'd ever heard of them was whenever I was watching the behind the scenes. I think it's called Gallery on Disney Plus for The Mandalorian, and just them showing their process of how they make all this for Mando. And when I saw that room with all the LED screens, like at first they just show it to where it's just like white, screen wall and everything. And I was like, oh, this is probably similar to like some kind of green screen. It's just higher tech. No, man. They turn it on and they show like how these desert scenes are being shown on these screens, and all they're having to do for their actual physical set is throw a bunch of sand on the ground with some rocks
And put them on a speeder, and you're flying through the desert on Tatooine.
Exactly. And what's amazing is the actors are able.
That's the magic in their name.
Yes, it is. There's a lot of magic. I mean, it's
absolutely.
fooling us,
It's indistinguishable.
Beyond fooling us, it's fooling the actors as well. Because instead of a green screen scene to where you've got 3 or 4 different actors, and it's like, okay, this is what this scene is. Here's what you need to imagine. They're all imagining something slightly different from one another. Like, generically kind of the same, but a little different. In this situation, in the volume, using this technology, they're seeing the exact same thing for the whole set. And they even mentioned this exact thing in the gallery after The Mandalorian. And it's mind blowing of how we're seeing something right now for the first time that's going to be used and expounded upon indefinitely until something better comes up. I don't know what that would be. Mm-hmm. Like
I think that's an important part of Star Wars. I think. I mean, it's one. I think the story is obviously the most important. Mm-hmm. But I mean, even with the prequels, George was he was setting out to. I mean, he called it. This is a new type of way to make a movie. Mm-hmm. Like he was very aware, and he even called it digital filmmaking. Or something like that. Like he said, this is a different way to make movies.
right.
And then like. He's one of the first to put on a full CGI, Jar Jar Binks. It's like a full CGI character,
Yeah. And with any revolutionary system or technology or anything like that, there's going to be some stinkers at the beginning. I mean, and like we get with some scenes, and with them going back and redoing some stuff from the original tapings of Star Wars, of how we're all like, why did you do this? It makes it so much worse. But he's just wanting to use this revolutionized technology and be like, I am the father of
dude,
this.
he's a visionary.
Yeah.
He may not be the best script writer, and I don't think he would ever claim to be.
No.
But he definitely is someone who has a vision.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we can all see that by now. I mean, it's changed culture forever.
Yeah.
And not just movie culture, but culture.
Well, yeah, because movies help shape culture too.
Like our modern scientific, world that we live in. Mm-hmm. A lot of those kids grew up, it inspired scientists.
Yes, exactly.
Like not just movie makers, but scientists also.
Yeah, and it all goes back to George Lucas and then ILM. So Industrial Light and Magic, If you've never heard of it before, now you have. Look more into it because there's so much more. Like we could spend an hour on this easily.
Oh yeah. Well, there's actually that Disney. It's on Disney Plus. There's like this thing like making of an empire, like making Star Wars special type thing. Like that's a good documentary to watch to learn more about it, and just to see these people at work.
Oh yeah,
and like doing what they do is actually extremely fascinating.
It's amazing. Marcus, talk to me. No, you don't have to.
Yeah,
Tiny can talk.
No, I have to.
Okay.
I have to.
All right.
I'm just reluctant. We all know that by now.
We're gonna pull it out of you.
I'm in my pajamas. No, I'm not really.
No, he's not.
I
What,
almost
do you
did
sleep
come
in a
over
leather jacket? I would not doubt it.
I have before. No, I'm calling back to because I want to slightly amend something I said on a previous podcast. I don't know which episode, whichever one that we talked about the Joker.
We've had 19 before this. I don't know when anything happened.
They're all the same episode. They're all just a part of one long story.
Yeah.
Batman has the Joker.
Yeah. Remember that? Remember which one that's from?
The Joker.
Him?
Batman has the Joker.
No.
Okay.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
There we go. That's the one.
No, I think Rooster, who's he came up with a topic, and it was, which is your favorite?
Right.
I think I was Heath Ledger. Remind me where you were.
Mine was the animated Mark Hamill
Right.
voice.
Okay. Right. And yours was too.
Mark Hamill,
What
if
about
you didn't
yours?
know,
What about
was
Tiny?
a part of
What's
Star
Tiny's
Wars
opinion
as
on
well.
this?
He was Luke.
Oh yeah, he was a Star Wars.
He was yeah.
About what?
Favorite
Joker?
Favorite, yeah.
That's a hard question. Heath Ledger's portrayal was epic, as was Joaquin Phoenix. So it kind of depends on your favorite storyline of the Joker.
Or just your different take on the character.
Right, because I mean, there's one where he's like a mafia guy. There's one where he's more the twisted manipulator. Then there's one where he's just a raving lunatic.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends which one of those you like as to which portrayal you like.
Right. And so with that being said, I think that I still, as far as an actor portraying the character.
Also, I gave you no answer.
Yeah, he did a really good job walking around that.
Well, good job, because I did feel inspired to keep talking. But now that's ruined. No.
Next topic.
Basically what I was going to try to say is, as far as like an on-screen portrayal, I mean, I guess the animated stuff is still an on-screen portrayal, but it's a different type of acting.
Right.
And so, I don't know. If we're going back more to the cartoony Batman, Mark Hamill, yes, obviously he's great, but his performance in Arkham Knight actually was what I was wanting to talk about.
Okay.
Because I recently replayed that game.
Yeah.
Some fans are going to hate it or whatever. The story. I'm talking about the story of the Joker in that game is so cool.
I'm not familiar with it.
Cool way to have the Joker with you at all times during that entire game. Because by that third game, spoilers, he's actually dead. Like the Joker's been killed. But this was a bit confusing. It's either Scarecrow mixed with the Arkham Knight. There's a couple different villains all kind of working together. So somehow through a serum, like the Joker has lived on and like is actually, if you like get infected.
Question.
Yes.
So are you saying Batman has accepted Joker into his heart?
No. Batman is becoming the Joker. Batman literally physiologically is becoming the Joker.
Okay, I was just wanting to clarify that.
Think of it as a possession, but they have like their little sci-fi way of explaining it in the game. It's because you inhaled this toxin that was designed to let the Joker live on past his death.
Kind of like that storyline of the Batman that laughs.
I don't know about that
He
one.
gets infected with like a Joker virus.
Okay,
and he's
yeah,
kind of like
maybe,
a blending
yeah.
of the two.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest on the Batman lore. I mean, I love Batman. I just don't know all that much about it, but I recently played that game, and I just thought it was so cool and such a cool portrayal. And Mark Hamill probably at his best because I don't know, it's a darker tone than the we usually see Mark Hamill Joker.
Yeah.
Which is automatically going to make me like it more.
Oh yeah.
And he's not even actually alive. And I don't know if y'all remember who else played the game.
I haven't played it. I when you mention it, it does strike a little bit of a memory.
Yeah.
Did you play it?
Have played.
Maybe that's why I kind of remember a little bit of it because I played the first game, Arkham Asylum, but did not play the second one. But I do remember parts of it, and hearing the Joker talk but
Yes.
and it's while you're Batman and you're walking around.
And he'll just appear too. Sometimes he'll scare you. You'll be
Oh, yeah.
swinging. You'll be swinging through the city, and you'll land on this rooftop, and boom! All of a sudden, he's right there in your face.
Yeah.
And talking to you, like making fun of you. You know, I don't know. I just thought it was a super clever way to do it, and it just really made me want to bring that topic back up because
Yeah.
I think it's worthy of being mentioned within one of the best Joker performances.
Well, I mean, it's a haunting of the
Oh,
Joker is
that's right.
haunting Batman,
Absolutely.
but he always has. Like now, he's literally doing it by being dead and just his memory being a part of Batman's brain. But like in every decision Batman's ever made in the past, like the Joker's there haunting it because if he would just kill him, then all these other deaths and all this other mayhem and chaos would not happen. Like he could stop it if he would just break that rule with the Joker, but he won't do it. So like his own decisions haunt him because of the Joker. And then now he's actually doing it.
Oh, yeah.
And what's cool is you're Batman. So you're also being haunted by the Joker because you're hearing the Joker as you walk around and you're doing actions.
He
So-
sings this awesome song at the end, and there's this like mission where you're Batman and you're just standing there on the stage that's rotating, and Joker's like singing you this funny song, and so you have to like sneak as Robin around to where he doesn't see you as the stage rotates to like undo the bombs or whatever. And I just thought there was just so much like care. It felt like to me as a
Yeah.
fairly casual Batman fan that they put into that character that I just really appreciated. And like I said, calling back to a previous episode, making a slight amendment.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Just to make-
I want us to look back
Yeah.
because like we don't get to all four of us, we don't get to hang out together much.
There
Like
wasn't anything back there.
This
in
is
one place.
literally
Who was
our
I
reason.
Was I pointing back there?
You said look back, and I did, and there's really nothing back there.
Batman Arkham Knight, the Too Much Batmobile game with
Yes.
good Joker.
But you know, this time I did find myself just like I would just like fly. You know, I would just like eject out of the Batmobile and just fly, and then just call it back whenever I got to where because you need it at certain times to get through the story.
But you fixed a lot of the Batmobile problem by just avoiding it
I
as
avoided
much as you
it
could.
as much as I could. Yeah,
But
but you know, it's not too bad.
do you think because Kevin Conroy voiced Batman in those games, right?
The guy from the series,
From the animated series, yeah.
I'm assuming.
I'm pretty sure he did, didn't he?
Yes.
Thank you. I met him once.
Oh wow,
I have a. Do you want to hear my Kevin Conroy story, real quick? Just real quick.
yeah.
Just real
but I
fast.
just want to let you know before you tell it that I used the Christian Bale Batman skin the whole time I played Arkham Knight.
Of course you did. Was it to spite me?
No, I just thought it was cool.
Nah, it was to spite me. I could tell. It's in your grin.
I mean, that also makes me kind of happy.
Okay, good. Yeah, I knew it would.
And you had the choice. Of
I mean, I wouldn't have told you.
You had the choice of the Batman Beyond skin, and you.
I actually didn't. I wasn't. about
Oh
to pay.
man, that would be amazing.
It was a good one.
No, I totally would have had that one if I'd had access to the good skins. I would have got.
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah,
I think they
okay.
actually just released a couple more free ones. I know it's an old game. It's like 2015, but
Yeah.
you know that's my style.
Hey,
Plus, that was the first game I got for PS4. So
Epic Games, that I talked about before, they released the entire Arkham collection on for free on Epic Games on PC. So I got them all. So now I kind of want to play it now.
Yeah.
So I may do that.
do it. It's really fun.
That's exciting.
And you know, it's another thing. I don't know if I said this on here. If not, I'm going to repeat myself.
Do it.
But you know, for people like me who don't have all that much time to play video games,
Mm-hmm.
a game like that, like I could just knock that out. I can 100% that thing in a weekend.
Oh, really? It's
Oh,
that
yeah.
short?
Yes, and I love big and expansive games, but then sometimes it just keeps me from wanting to turn it on.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I really appreciated about that game, replaying it after 5 years, was just the story and how it didn't matter. I wanted to get to the end of the story.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily, I want to go see that continent over there and see all the different storylines. You know, I think that through story all the way through is like,
It keeps you wanting to sit there and play it. Yeah.
Well, I'm just, I guess, advocating for video games to get a little bit better with storytelling.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it gets a little too into mechanics and gameplay, and it's like,
Yeah.
well,
there's only so many forts you
what's-
can overthrow before the world's way too big, and I don't want to play the game
yeah,
anymore.
swinging the sword feels so realistic. It's amazing, but by the time you do it, 200 times, that's not going to be enough for me to go back and do it again.
No.
But yeah, because like with The Witcher, I started playing it for a while, and then I stopped playing it for about 3 or 4 days, and I was intimidated to go back into it because there's just too much. There's so much. There's over 400 hours of gameplay in that thing, And that is so intimidating that I'm like, and there's a lot of lore in it too. And I feel like I'm behind before I even get started.
Yep.
And I want to read like the books based on the games and stuff too, to kind of get all this, but there's so much effort you have to put into that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have a lot of time to play. So that's hard to get into, but I'll do it one day.
I can't play The Witcher.
Why not?
It's hard.
It is hard, but you play hard games. Oh, Kevin Conroy story, real quick.
Yeah.
It has to.
Sorry.
Because it has to do with a video game and
Yeah, for
Conroy
sure.
Batman. At Fanboy Expo, a comic convention in both Nashville and Knoxville, I believe. I was at one of them, and Kevin Conroy was there as a guest. He had a panel to where he's sitting up there on stage. He gives a big spiel, and then he answers some crowd questions and stuff. And I never thought that those panels would be that great. I felt like I would be disconnected from them, kind of. But they're the best part of a convention, is getting to hear these stories that possibly not many other people have ever heard before. But during it, there was this guy whose cell phone went off, and then Conroy just kind of kept talking through it, like a professional, and then it went off again. And then Conroy kind of looked over that way and then kept talking. It went off a third time, and instead of turning the cell phone off, this man answered the phone in the middle of the voice of Batman trying to talk to us, talk to his fans, and just have moments with us. And this man answered his cell phone in the middle of it. And Conroy just stopped completely and let him talk to see how long he would talk on the cell phone. And he kept going. And it was amazing. Like, it was blowing my mind. And then all of a sudden, like, Conroy just stares him down, and his brow gets real furrowed, and he goes, "Get off the phone," like Batman. Like, he did it in his Batman voice from the animated series, and the guy immediately put his phone down and put it in his pocket, and everyone went crazy. Like, everyone lost their mind because
awesome.
we just saw Batman. Like, we saw him, we heard him speak, and it was amazing. And then afterwards, whenever he was at his table out, like, doing signings and stuff, it was towards the end where his line was gone, and I just kind of walked up. I didn't have the $75 to get his autograph. I didn't want to do that, but I just kind of walked up, and I was like, "Hey, that was weird, wasn't it?" He goes, "I have never in my life had that happen before." Like, he answered it. I go, "I know. It's insane. It's like, why?" And so he and I just kind of had this moment of conversation, like me and Kevin Conroy just kind of talking about it, and it was just this cool,
You and
like
Batman.
me and Batman. And that was like, man, that was just a moment I'll never forget. And that's why, and I think that's part of the reason why he's my favorite Batman that I've ever experienced, because that moment, and also growing up with the cartoons. But I think the combination of Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy, like, and in these games too, like, it's just their chemistry is unmatched because of the amount of years they've spent with each other through all those animated episodes, and then being able to do these games too. It just brings everything you know about the characters. It just kind of moves them along into this other world easier because you're hearing the same voices that you always have. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's pretty awesome, but I have a Batman story as well. So, growing up as a child, my dad knew Batman. So, up until, unfortunately, my dad passed away, every year on my birthday, I got a phone call from Batman.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What?
It was the most amazing thing as a kid because Batman was always my favorite. Then he would call me and say, "Happy birthday." And I'm like, "Yeah, Batman." No.
Did you ever find out who it was?
Not
that
a clue.
That was calling you?
Not a clue.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
It was Batman.
It was Batman. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, of course. Oh, that's good. That's special.
Yeah.
And every year you got to look forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this seems about the appropriate time that I should start telling everybody about how much I hang out with Ben Affleck.
Man, he's going to gloat.
Best Batman.
He's going to name drop.
Ben don't care.
He's behind me, isn't he?
Ben don't care. He's actually in your closet. Right? You're not really Ben. You're not really Batman. You're not. You play him. That's just a dress hanging up. That's not Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I looked over there. I thought he might be there. Anything else to add about that, or did I steal it with the Conroy story?
No, you did exactly what you were supposed to do.
Okay, good. But now I have to play the game, so I'm going to now. and I'm going to fly out of the Batmobile instead of driving around because I know how much you guys talk about how it sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty bad to me.
Pretty bad, man. Is it more like bad?
It's the Badmobile.
So funny. What?
Mine's a throwback to a few weeks ago whenever Marcus mentioned a set of producers that he didn't remember who they were exactly. And then I said, they're actually these folks. And then Marcus said, you made me sound stupid. And then I said, I'm stupid. And then Marcus said, not as bad as me. And then I was like, it's Alfred Goh and Miles Miller. The guys that produced the Smallville show.
Oh, okay.
You don't remember this at all.
I remember a
was like-
version of this, I think.
There. But was I in it?
But I don't know who they are. I still don't know who they are.
Yeah. I mean, I am
just,
very familiar with Smallville, but I don't know these gentlemen.
I just jotted it down a bunch of stuff quickly today because I planned on taking some notes today and actually doing some in-depth research.
That's what I did.
I could tell.
Thanks.
And then I got discouraged immediately
Why?
because I've got Alfred Goh and Miles Miller, two dudes in their 50s cranking out some really cool nerddom and fantasy since the late 1990s. That's all I wrote.
That was your That's what your research came out with?
Yep, that's it. That's all I got. No.
Okay.
I pulled up a bunch of the stuff just trying to figure out what all they've been involved with because I can remember seeing them in a lot of different, production credits for things. And it really wasn't as many as I remember. Like, they were a lot of the same shows.
A lot of CW style.
Yeah, it was a lot of that. And I started remembering, like, why I remember the names. And honestly, some of the movies surprised me because I wouldn't think that the guys that had the brains behind producing Smallville and, doing the Into the Badlands were the same people. And the Shannara Chronicles, we found that out already. They also did the Shanghai series, Night, Shanghai Noon, the new one coming out.
Shanghai Evening.
Shanghai Dawn.
Ah, that's better than Evening.
He's from Boston. They call him Shanghai Dawn.
I don't think they do.
That's not it. They also did the Mummy movie, The Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Did anybody see that one?
No.
What is that, like 2?
3. There was a third one, and
I thought they just went straight to Scorpion King after 2.
it was no, it was Mummy. No, was it the Scorpion? The Scorpion King was number 2.
You know who played the Scorpion King?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He's back, baby. He's back for number 20.
And I don't think that Industrial Light and Magic was involved too much in the CGI in that
I hope
movie.
not, because they wouldn't
Oh,
have
man.
advertised.
Have you not
that
ever
one.
seen? Have you ever seen that movie,
I
Dane?
named The Mummy, but I don't know.
The
are you talking
Mummy's
about-
actually not a bad movie, but the
No,
Scorpion
no.
King.
They did The Mummy, but I don't know. Let me see.
Now the Scorpion King was its own entity. Then you had the Mummy 2.
But it's still like the same like film franchise, kind of.
Yes, but the Mummy 2 was based off of the Scorpion King was just in there in that weird CGI scorpion at the very end of it.
Yes, and it was awful looking.
Yeah, the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor actually had Jet Li in it, and it was I thought it was going to be pretty cool.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
There were Yetis.
But all I remember from the movies is the face in the sand, where it's like, that's about it.
That
That's
was
all I
the
got.
first. Was that the
And
first one?
Yeah.
Brendan
Fraser.
Is
Is it Brendan or Brandon?
It's
Or
Brendan.
Brendan.
I believe it's
Brendan-
with an E.
Brendan Fraser?
Yeah.
Brendan
Yeah, he's
with
one
an
of
E.
those.
yeah.
Fraser.
At least it's not Brennan.
And then they made a new one, right, with Tom Cruise. Is that correct?
Oh, that Mummy. That's actually the film's
Does he become a werewolf?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, in that movie.
Seen it.
I don't know what he becomes
Because I've
they
never
don't-
seen it, but I'm pretty sure he becomes a
They
werewolf.
don't. They don't specify very hard in that, but I think
his
that
mama.
movie was supposed to be that
it was
movie
like a
was
reboot.
supposed to be a reboot into the Monsters cinematic universe.
Oh,
Like
whatever that is.
Like
Dracula,
Monsters,
the
Inc.?
No, Dracula, Mummy, Wolfman, Frankenstein. A reboot into that entire series so they can start bringing together a movie monster universe.
Like it's all existing in the same universe?
Yeah, but you can tell how well that went.
Yeah, it didn't.
I think it's so cool, kind of, but at the same time, I think it's so trash that now everybody is trying to have like their own cinematic universe.
But they also were the producers of Spider-Man 2. My favorite of the Spider-Man movies.
It was good. I didn't know
The
that.
one with Shocker in it,
Huh? No, you're way off.
Electro Man.
No, that's the
No.
Amazing
Oh, that's me.
Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
No,
you're
I'm
talking
talking-
about Tobey Maguire.
I'm sorry, I forgot that you guys like Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
I don't like really.
No?
I like Tobey Maguire way better.
Tobey Maguire was my dude. Even, and just because they let him skip out on the storyline of explaining the web shooters. It was a part of his power. His body made the webs like a spider's.
That's okay.
The end.
I liked it.
I loved it.
He still did the weird hand thing though, like he was
Yeah.
using the web
He
shooter.
even tried to say Shazam to get the web to go.
He did.
Weird.
Oh.
And he said Shazam again in the third movie.
He was talking to you.
Hey, I know. He whispers.
Is he your friend too? Them, you, and like Ben, like all hang out and go mountain biking and wear shorty shorts together.
And we just do our best J. Jonah Jameson impressions. And it was,
Well,
it's we toast s'mores by the far.
What are we talking about again?
I don't know. Tiny
So
said
amazing.
words.
Oh, okay.
Producers of a movie.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot one of the best ones. Herbie Fully Loaded.
Yeah.
With Lindsay Lohan before drugs.
Was it ever really before drugs or before we knew drugs?
Let the boy dream.
I mean, Herbie Fully Loaded was back when she was still hot
And
because there was the time.
probably 16.
I was probably 16 at the time, so I can say that.
No, hold on.
We were underage together.
I'm going to Google some more things.
Oh no! Don't Google that.
I Am Number 4. That was a movie by them.
You're gonna get on a list.
Wait, what is that movie?
You know, where he's number 4.
Oh yeah, I don't like that one. I'm
Books
just
were
kidding. I
much
don't even
better.
know if I don't even know what it is.
Books were good.
I don't even know. What
It was meant to be a series because it was a continuation of that story. He's from an alien race and he's living amongst the people here of Earth. And there's so many chosen from their warrior race that actually survive. And he's like number 4. I don't know. It's hard to
They
explain.
have to get killed in order, and every time one of them dies, the markings on his body, he feels intense pain. He feels their death, and so he's running from the evil alien race that's trying to destroy them.
And even though I enjoyed Smallville so much, I was thinking, they had to start off with some great stuff early on and just get into this, this grand storytelling, because Smallville had 10 seasons and each season had over 20 episodes. They made a lot of television out of that show. But their first thing that was purchased from them that got them introduced into the actual Hollywood scene was purchased by New Line Cinema while they were both still at the University of Southern California where they met. It was a show that they had written that was a buddy cop called Mango. It's a buddy cop who's got severe animal allergies that ends up getting paired with an orangutan. It's an orangutan buddy cop allergic to animals.
And this was purchased
That's
with
amazing.
money? Someone...
$400,000, and it was never developed into an actual property.
Of course not. Did you just hear what it is?
Hey, New Line Cinema.
Let's buy it and make it. I am in.
Hey, at this point, a $400,000 property that's been sitting around just dead in the water, I'm sure we could purchase it for pennies on the millions.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
I will pay tens of dollars for this.
But my topic ended up getting kind of depressing, though, because I was thinking that these guys were going to be just like something awesome, because I really enjoyed the Shannara Chronicles. I really enjoyed Smallville. And then I just got to read, and I was like, kind of everything they wrote was, and everything they helped produce was kind of like a big old...
Big old toad. And Into the Badlands is pretty good, too.
Into the Badlands
not
is
bad.
pretty good. Yeah, it is, but it's not. It wasn't
It's like
quite.
a dystopic wasteland, like martial arts, kung fu kind of thing.
How many seasons did that have? Do you
I
remember?
don't know. I think I saw just one of them.
I didn't watch past the first season at all. I didn't actually finish it, I don't think.
Tiny, how old were you in 2005?
17.
Okay. That's when Herbie Fully Loaded was. So, if she were 16 years of age, that's okay.
Yes.
He was 17.
I was underage at the time.
That's okay.
Boom,
See?
roasted. No list for me.
No list.
Boom, roasted.
I can only imagine the 15 people that we know standing outside of the jail. Free Tiny, free Tiny, free Tiny. And then Tiny comes.
17. He was 17.
This is all hypothetical. It's all hypothetical. But yeah, that's it. Alfred Gold, Miles Miller. I thought they were going to stack up to be something epic, and I discovered that the majority of what they made is just hot, stinking, fecal garbage.
I do have a question about the tiny incarceration thing. If you're,
Just go peacefully.
I've always heard that when you get there, you hit the biggest man there.
What if you are the biggest man there?
There's a high probability that's me. So do I punch myself?
Yeah. You got to show him who's boss.
Unless you go in there and the Great
Pull a
Khalidi's
Fight
in there.
Club? Truth. That is a monstrous human.
And that would be weird. Like the way that we look at you, like you're way bigger than we are, and we have to look up to you. And you would have to look up to him the same way as that. And that's got to be weird.
I mean, I would probably end up holding a man's pocket.
Huh?
Wait, you don't know?
You don't know what that means?
That means they're best friends.
Yeah.
If you're in jail and you hold someone's pocket,
Yeah.
you're best friends. And
Your
no
best
one else can
friends,
take your
and
pocket.
you hang sheets on doors and bake cookies.
Yeah.
With a stinger.
That's like this sign of best friends.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
So we would all be holding each other's pockets in prison
Pretty much.
at this table because we're all best friends. It would be like it would be like a what'd you call it? A human centipede of pocket holding.
Yes, absolutely.
So define pockets.
We're going to get to every episode. We're going
Pants
to call back
pocket.
to all of our previous episodes in this one.
On accident.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe it's
You
because we just don't have any
the
new
pocket
material.
inside out and someone grasps it with their hands.
I am a real American.
Fight for the pockets of every man. Oh boy.
Tiny?
I love Smallville, but I didn't like much of that other stuff.
I don't think that I was as happy with my topic as I could have been. But it's okay.
Why?
It was a good one.
Oh, I'm not talking about the way that I talked about it. I was just really excited to find out what all these guys got into because in my head I had them thought up to be like these grandiose, amazing, artistic people. Sorry, I turned a little Italian there. Artistic people.
I seen the hand thing.
That was more Borat, I think, than
Isn't he some kind of Italian?
yeah. I don't know.
He's got the mustache.
Tiny, talk before we talk more about Borat. I really
So-
don't want to talk about Borat.
I'm going to sell you on a vacation spot.
Borat.
Wait. We're going on a vacation.
We're going on vacation
to where?
to Gloucester Island.
That's in Europe, in England.
It is not. It is in Canada.
That's-
It is in actually Nova Scotia. It's also known as Oak Island.
I was thinking of Gloucestershire. That's where I was thinking of.
So, for everybody that don't know, if y'all know what Oak Island is?
Are we allowed
I've
to talk
seen
about
that
it?
show before.
Okay, well, the show's garbage.
Well, yeah, all those
Yeah,
shows are.
true.
But
Like I said, it's an island off of Nova Scotia. It's 140 acres. It was originally inhabited by the Micmac Indians, and the nearest village to said island is Chester. It is rumored to be the home and final resting place of several things, one being Captain Kidd's treasure, which was supposedly around 2 million English pounds. That is the amount in his day, not ours. So we're talking billions. Or it is where the Shakespearean manuscripts from Sir Francis Bacon, Sir Francis Bacon,
Drake and
is,
bacon.
because there's a theory that he was actually the one who wrote all of Shakespeare's things.
Wait. Hole.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic.
What?
Yeah. I found that rabbit hole through this rabbit hole.
Okay. I'm going to need you to follow up soon. Because that just...
Yeah, it
That
intrigued
freaked
me
my
as well.
bean a little bit. That's good.
Or it is where the Holy Grail or Ark of the Covenant is
face melter.
from the Masons and the Templars.
And Indiana Jones.
So they've been digging at this island since the early 1700s. Actually, 1799. The excavation was started by John Smith and Anthony Vaughan. They heard stories. They went to the island to look around, and they found a depression in the ground where it looked like something was buried. So they began to dig. 2 feet down under the dirt, they found a layer of flagstone. After that, about every 10 feet was a layer of oak planks. And oak is not actually on Oak Island. So it was brought from somewhere else and laid down like a floor. And they basically, ran out of money and died and all those kinds of things.
Like you do.
Like you do. And in 1802, the Onslow Company took over the excavation of the pit. Yet again, every 10 feet, they found a layer of oak. Around 60 feet, they found layers of charcoal, putty, and coconut fiber. Which, yet again, there's no coconuts there. Back when Captain Kidd was around, they used coconut fiber to pack different crates and things of that sort on the ship. So that leads credence to Captain Kidd's treasure being buried there. They got to poking around one night with this long iron rod once
Like
they hit
you do.
about 60 feet. It was getting dark, and they was trying to find where the treasure was because they thought they were close. They went to bed, and when they come back, there was 60 feet of water in this 90-foot hole. And so they had no way to get it out. They were dipping out with buckets and whatever they had, and it wasn't good enough. Come to find out later, after investigation, a series of tunnels was dug through the island to the ocean, about 5 different ones that branched into one. So when they breached that layer, all the water rushed in from the ocean, so they was unable to get it out because of technology at that
Booby
time.
trapped.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. In
That's
1849, yeah, it just keeps
Yeah,
getting
this keeps
crazier.
getting better.
In 1849, the Truro Company takes over, and they got down to 98 feet, where they found spruce. Yet again, not a native tree to the island. And then shortly below the spruce platform, they found 7 feet of metal pieces, clay, and oak, just kind of all mixed together in this weird kind of slurry thing. And all that was done around 1851. In 1866, there was a stone found at the bottom of the hole with an inscription on it in another language. When it was deciphered, they think it says 40 feet below 2 million pounds lie buried. So they think, they got to go 40 more feet and they find Captain Kidd's treasure. Most of the people, that's what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. And there was a slew of other companies that went and dug and didn't really find much because they hit the 40 feet and yet again, nothing except more oak and random layers. And in 1928 to 1939, William Chappell and Gilbert Hedden takes over excavating. At 127 feet, they find axes, an anchor, and a pick. So they find tools of where people have dug this hole before, be it the original people digging the hole or previous people. I think it was the original because anchor and all the different things pointing towards Captain Kidd. And in 1967, the Triton Alliance takes over. They make it 235 feet down, well below the ocean floor, and they find a cave. So they send down a camera, and being the late 60s, camera quality is not so great. So scanning around, they find possible chests, human remains, wooden cribbing, and tools. And unfortunately, shortly after that, the cave collapses because they've destroyed structural integrity. So it was not able to be confirmed what was actually in the hole. But they have pulled up various stones with inscriptions, couple pieces of like a chain link, a couple of chain links that were made out of gold. And it's actually still being dug today. In 2003, the Michigan group takes over. And it kind of branches off into two companies, one being Oak Island Tours. So you can actually pay and go take a tour of the island and spend the night in some cabins. So
I say
find it
we move
fascinating.
there and just live there and spend the rest of our lives digging into this island.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be something.
We would have got drowned out by the booby trap.
That's why. Why,
Yeah.
why do you put your treasure down there
You
for
don't.
no one else to
You
find?
make you don't. You spin a legend. You spin this mystery that's where it is. So that's where everybody's looking for it, and you lay clues and things to throw them off the scent of where it really is.
Well, the only issue with that, they originally thought it was Captain Kidd.
I had it figured out.
Well, I mean,
You're ruining him.
yeah, because in 1701, a sailor who was supposedly from his crew, as he's dying, mentions the treasures buried on the island. I missed that part of my notes, but that's why they think Captain Kidd's treasure is there.
So they have somebody that say that again, like worked with him, or
It
what?
was a member of his crew was there dying on the beach, and
kind of like
yeah,
a death
and kind of
confession.
yeah, exactly. He said, "Hey, there's 2 million British pounds buried over there on this island."
Oh, it's good.
That'd be a pretty cool find, but I don't think that anybody's just gonna go digging and find it,
I mean, they've been trying.
especially if the cave collapsed.
Yeah, I don't know how they haven't got to that cave in the pit. I know at one
If we
point
can't
they
find it now,
moved
then
to
how
a-
did they bury it in the first place?
Well, it sounds like it's a man-made island,
Well,
right?
at least where they're digging, it's been dug before back in the 1700s because they've done carbon dating and things of that sort
Right.
to date various things to that.
Right, the various layers and all that.
Yeah, so it's been done before by dudes with very primitive tools. So why can't we do it?
Right.
You know.
Right.
One of the issues is I can't remember which company because I left it out of my notes because I'm getting way too deep into this for my short amount of time.
We're this close to buying
Yeah.
a plane ticket.
Yeah, they actually moved locations of where they were digging. They're not far from it, but they have another site that they think could lead them to where it is.
Huh.
But what about the Ark of the Covenant and all that other stuff too? Is that just like rumored to be there, or is that just part of his haul? Do you think?
Well, see, there's a stone around Mahone Bay that says 184, and it's 184, if I remember right, kilometers from there to the island. And there was Templar markings on it, like their little cross thing and some other things were carved into that stone.
So that's like the Holy Grail kind of thing, is what you
Yeah,
what
because supposedly the Templars have the Holy Grail and the Spear of Destiny and all these things of that sort. So.
I always thought that Adolf Hitler got the Spear of Destiny in the Second World War.
No, cyanide or something. I don't know.
Zyklon.
Oh no, that was in Hellboy. Never mind.
Yeah. That's where you got confused.
Historically accurate, Hellboy.
I think that wasn't.
Well, it sounds like from them digging and finding these layers, like layers and layers of not indigenous like parts of nature. It sounds like maybe the island at one point was at sea level and there was a cave on it, and that way they were able to get in there and I don't know, put the treasure inside the cave, and then it sounds like it was like built upon. I don't know. Like, how would that?
Yeah.
I don't
mean,
understand how they keep digging and keep finding more and more.
Right. And how did they make this elaborate mechanism underneath the island, digging these holes to the ocean that will flood at just the right depth to prevent you from going any farther?
And once you do go farther, you're going to end up collapsing the cave if you dig into it.
Yeah. So there had to have been a secondary entrance to get there. That's the only thing that kind of makes sense, because caves usually have entrances and exits. It's not just there, you know?
Right.
So, but the show sucks.
Yeah, the show's trash.
Wait, there's a show about this?
Yeah, it's called The Curse of Oak Island.
Why is it trash? Because they just invent things to make a mystery out
the
of.
whole drama thing, and they play into the whole curse because 7 people have died, and
Was it
6
History
people,
Channel?
I'm sorry, yes, it's
Okay,
on the History Channel. 6 people have died, and supposedly
That
at
explains it.
7 the curse will be lifted. So they're kind of waiting for the 7th person to die, and they kind of play into that and various things of that sort. So
History Channel's
The
garbage.
Curse of Oak Island isn't a docuseries where they're just showing these people visiting these places.
It's like Ancient
No.
Aliens, except for that island.
yeah, well, it follows the people who are digging there now and kind of what they're coming across. Which really, from the very few episodes I've seen, they're finding nothing.
Are they using backhoes and bobcats?
They make a lot about nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like
All
they do
sound and
Beatles.
fury
The
amounting to nothing.
and Seth.
Tiny?
That was a good one.
You blew my tiny little infant brain.
I know.
I wish they would make a good show about this, so I didn't
too.
know,
It's
so I don't have to
fascinating.
read about it. Like
I wish
you do.
ILM would make some, I don't know, graphics for a movie about it with the guys who made Smallville directing it. What about that combo? Huh? That's a combo we didn't get.
But my topic doesn't fit into this
Oh, no.
Yours does.
They'll be there.
Because
I'm a joke.
I am
I
electric
see
joke.
why you said you were a joke. Because your conversation was about the Joker. You're brilliant.
That was
You're a
perfect.
brilliant genius.
I've been told
And
before.
I'm glad you're here, and you make all of our topics look stupid because of that intelligence.
And you have nice hair and smell good.
Both of those things are correct.
I
It
didn't
may
know
be the
either of
leather.
those things.
It may be the leather. I don't know. I'm digging it, though. You know what I'm also digging? Shows like Nightmare Town and Haunt Her, I Barely Know Her. Those are also really good podcasts, and people should listen to them on things like Spotify and iTunes and, I don't know, a bunch of other ones. I'm sure if you just Google the name, you'll find it. Just like us. You'll Google us and you'll find us, but you'll probably just keep listening to us on whatever platform you're listening to us now. Tell your friend, hey, there's these 4 guys that are pretty stupid, but they're kind of fun to listen to when you got an hour of your day. I don't know. I do it. I listen to us for an hour.
Sometimes
That's all.
Sometimes we teach you, sometimes we talk to you. Sometimes we just keep on messing up. But sometimes we stop talking whenever that time is up.
Thank you for leaning into the very first syllable that you screwed up. Go to @NerdGrapevine on Twitter and do the same on Instagram. You'll find us there tweeting and such, and also posting little clips from each episode to kind of give you a hint at how much fun we're having.
Well, we'll
It's
get
just
time.
a hint. We'll have a good time. Austin, not Zent, not Tiny. Austin Shazam, Pfeiffer. When life gives you grapes,
You tweeze them.
you do what?
You tweeze them.
With what?
You twingles.
And the kettle steams. He's laughing at himself so hard that he's choking up. He's going to die. He's dead.
Put your finger down your throat so you don't choke on your tongue.
Wait, what?
Not my mouth.